So here we are in the second edition of Who is PAG? Who are the people behind the name and what do we do? Today we are talking to Michael DeLawter in Indiana, and we're going to ask him some questions and get to know him a little better, and maybe he can learn a little bit about us as well. How are you today, Michael?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Great. Excited to have you. So let's just dive right in. How long have you been making custom pens?
A little over a year now.
Okay.
I've been making pens per se for about 3.5 to 4 years. I started out like most people do, making kit pens, and moved on after I took a course on making custom pens.
Okay, well, that's a reasonable place to start out. It seems a lot of folks I know have done that. So what in your mind, what does the word handmade really mean to you?
Yeah, I gave this one some thought, so I don't know. Handmade could really stretch the gambit. I mean, is a kit pen not handmade? You're still turning the barrels, but the components that go along with that don't make it really unique. It's more of a clone, if you would.
Mm-hmm.
You still have some flair with it by choosing what you're turning, and is it a hybrid? Is it just wood? Is it resin? Are you doing inlays in it? So there's still some artistry to that. But to me, a truly handmade pen is where you are making everything from soup to nuts as much as you can. And for me, that's barrel, section, cap. The only thing I can't make is the nibs and the feeds and the converters, because for that you have to have really specialized equipment.
Well, that's all all fine and dandy, because if we all got into making our own nibs and feeds, nobody could afford a pen.
Yeah.
Are there any techniques or styles that you think you're really good at or make you unique in some way compared to what you see in the market today?
At this point in time, I'm probably going to say no. I'm still pretty young in the handcrafted pen world. Like I said, I've only been doing it about a year.
Yeah.
I can make the pens that look like cigars real easy.
Mm-hmm.
I can make flat end pens. I can put on ferrules on either end. I can do some metal work, but getting into the more fancy stuff where you're having divided sections on the body, separated by thin sections of metal, different types of metal blended together, like Makumigane, is that it?
Makume Ganya, and I'll probably get counseled on my lack of Japanese twang, if you will.
Yeah, and being able to join different metals, like having a stainless steel backer on a clip so that you don't have to worry about losing the spring back on it.
Sure.
I'm still gathering the equipment that I need to be able to do stuff like that.
Well, let me tell you, you're never done gathering. It's an ongoing process. It's like every day you learn something. Every day you learn there's something else you need to step up to that next plateau. Other question. This is really subjective, but I'd love to know what you think. How do you think the Pen Artisan Guild or PAG, that brand or that stamp, is a benefit to our customers, the consumers that keep us all making pens? What does that mean to them?
Should mean to them that they can expect a certain level of quality in the product that they're buying. They know they're not getting a mass-produced pen. They know they might be getting a set of, say, one of 10 pens or one of 20, depending on how many the maker really wants to make.
Mm-hmm.
They know they're getting something really that at any point in time can be a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not being produced by CMM. It's not repeatable. Each pen is going to have its own character. There might be slight differences between two in a set of, say, 1 to 10, but there's still going to be differences.
Absolutely. That is something I find I can't make 5 pens or even 2 that are exactly the same. I get that caliper out or micrometer. We're talking third and fourth digit, but that's not the same. It's very, very close and close enough to the naked eye and to me. I can't pick them up and know the difference unless I go to measure it. Now you've mentioned you're a little young, but I got to ask you this question anyway because I thoroughly believe everybody has a favorite. What is the favorite pen that you have made?
I've made. Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword on that story.
Sure.
Favorite pen I've made is a Ambonia burl that had a void in it that I filled with epoxy colored with blue mica powder. I held onto this blank for probably 2.5 years, making sure it was dried out because I bought it from Indonesia.
Oh boy.
Stabilized it, cast it, turned it, and sealed it in CA. And 7 months after that, CA cracked. So I am now of the opinion that CA finishes stink officially, and I'm looking for something new to do as far as finishes go.
I am sorry you had that experience, but that is the opinion of a vast many people that CA is not a appropriate finish for a pen.
Mm-hmm.
Weather conditions, humidity, climate change, desert conditions, anything affects CA, and it doesn't hold up. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself, Michael, that you think would be beneficial or interesting to our viewers?
Let's see. The reason I got into pen making is I was scared to death of empty nest syndrome.
Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah, my daughter was, I think, 16 when I started turning.
Okay.
And I was desperately seeking a hobby to fill the void of her being gone because I had nothing at the time. My hobby was sitting on the couch watching TV with my wife. And I knew if I did that, it'd probably be 10, 15 years and I'd be dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed something to motivate myself to get off the couch. See what else. I did end up starting a YouTube channel while I was making pens and blanks. And that is more on the blank side. I don't do a lot of turning on that, but that may change in the near future. That channel's been inactive now probably for about 10 to 11 months. And now that I have some more free time, I'm looking at starting that back up again as well.
Well, that's awesome. YouTube is something I'm intrigued with, but I gotta tell you, I don't know anything about it. So that sounds absolutely wonderful. I guess just one last question. This is the absolute end. PAG, the Guild, a professional organization. How has that helped you personally progress as a maker?
It's been an amazing resource. Having access to the minds of the people such as yourself, Thomas Walter, David Broadwell, it's just an amazing resource. You know that there's going to be an answer to the questions that you pose, or there's at least going to be some educated opinions put forward towards that. I've learned just so much over the past, I think it's been 10 months now that I've been a member, that it's just amazing. And it's more than I could have learned on my own. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, you can cut out so many steps of learning and scouring and just kind of get to the heart of a matter and then start your own learning on the right path. That's something I found is invaluable to me, but I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm afraid to ask those questions. Well, that is the end of our interview. Michael is our second inaugural interviewee, and we'll be looking forward to many more interviews to come. We have a list, and we'll be working down that list, so I hope you all check back and see who's up next. And thank Michael for buying out some time to chat with us today. And hope you all have a great day, and we'll catch you later.